Elizabeth Cady Stanton, a fierce fighter for women's rights, persuasive orator, prolific writer, and charismatic public figure, lived in New York City for many years, first in Brooklyn for a short time, then in several brownstones and apartments in Manhattan. I'm standing at the site of her last address, 250 West 94th Street, where she lived in an apartment with her son Bob and daughter Margaret. Her longtime friend and collaborator, Susan B. Anthony, and other prominent reformers came here to plot and strategize with her. It is where she continued to forge and fire her provocative articles and letters, and where she died on October 26, 1902, 2 weeks before her 87th birthday. Although not the original building, this apartment building was renamed the Stanton in 2008 in honor of Elizabeth Cady Stanton. This plaque had been placed on the building some years before that. Along with her name and years of her birth and death, it reads, "Reformer, a founder and leader of the American women's rights movement, an ardent advocate of women's suffrage, and a tireless fighter for equality and justice. She lived her last years at this site." In the lobby, there is an exhibit with a sign that reads, "This display commemorates the life of Elizabeth Cady Stanton, an early activist and leading figure in the women's movement, November 12, 1815, October 26, 1902. Her home was located where this building now stands. I particularly like the photograph of her in her library, seated in a Victorian armchair, holding a book and looking very much like, as one newspaper dubbed her, the grand old woman of America. Elizabeth Cady Stanton's funeral was held in her apartment. It was a private event attended by her children, a few close friends, and Susan B. Anthony, who wrote, "Well, it is an awful hush." She was buried in Woodlawn Cemetery in the Bronx. For the Women's History Channel, I'm Penny Coleman.